Welcome back. Ask Micah about music and he speaks haltingly. He mumbles, he jumbles words, yet the same 14-year-old boy can easily play a jazz guitar riff or serenade his classmates with a song and tap dance routine. Photojournalist Peter Rosen shows us how Micah and his family meet their challenges with the help of music.
This
all my kids will be playing instruments and they're all like next to each other.
Is music to the Spute family's ears.
It's a lot of noise.
The music really began when Micah Spute took a school trip to the Nutcracker Ballet.
He loved the music, he loved everything about it, and he wanted to be a dancer. And
he picked up dance shoes and the guitar. Eventually, sisters Julia and Macy started playing.
Kind of did a domino effect for the rest of them.
And Caleb began teaching himself piano at age 4. So you taught yourself for 3 years?
Mostly.
But ask Micah, why do you think you like music so much? What's the appeal? And he has a hard time talking about it. Because he has what's called Asperger's syndrome, a high-functioning form of autism. Mom and Dad say 2 other children show symptoms, and Julia and Caleb also have Tourette's syndrome. These are kids, they say, who need a little extra help making friends. Mom says you're kind of shy. Are you kind of shy?
Sometimes, I guess.
And music gets them out there, up on stage.
It gives them a better level of confidence.
I just imagine that I'm at a rehearsal or just at a lesson.
You know, it's hard to get into social situations when you have Asperger's. You know, you don't.
Troy Spute speaks from experience.
When you go up there and perform, then people come up to you and start talking to you.
He didn't have a lot of friends.
He says he has Asperger's too, and in high school,
he was depressed a lot of time.
He found his place.
Kind of found a little niche.
In the choir room.
I saw him change over the course of the 2 years. He became much more confident socially and musically. Even in the picture you can see he felt part of that group. The joy he had and the confidence that he had.
Oldest son's a lot better place than I was at his age.
Do you think music has something to do with that?
I'm sure it does. You know, he got up at the school and did a whole singing and tap dancing number, and
he's totally stepping outside of himself.
House being able to connect with people.
It helps you make friends.
Yeah, I suppose it can help me make friends.
Well, in Mr. Holland's opus,
because playing music,
he said you have to enjoy it.
It's about heart.
It lifts you up. It lifts you up in a lot of different ways. It just lifts your spirit. Give you a feeling in your heart, you know, that really can almost change who you are.
Great story, Peter Rosen reporting. A clarification, Asperger's is no longer an official diagnosis. It's now simply an autism spectrum disorder. Becca Spute says her son had a hard time with that question, not because he couldn't come up with an answer, but because he came up with too many answers all at once. It's amazing what music is doing for that family. When Brigham Young decided Utah was the place, he also decided this desert state needed a little green. More than 150 years later, scientists from 102 countries are looking to Utah to keep their forests alive. Keith McCord explains why Salt Lake City turned out to be just the place to host the largest global scientific conference on forests.
Brigham Young, in so many ways, you know, an amazing people manager, an amazing, you know, visionary in terms of how to live in a place, saw not only agriculture but also trees as being very important, and certainly that legacy has continued.
That legacy of planting and nurturing the United States' largest urban forest impressed organizers of the International Union of Forest Research Organizations World Congress. They also appreciated Salt Lake's experience welcoming the world during the 2002 Olympics.
You had the facilities in place. You had the experience, you have the airport, you have the backdrop. You basically had everything in a package we were looking for.
Once here, delegates shared knowledge and solutions to the challenges facing the world's forests. A changing climate has scientists worried about the spread of pests and pathogens. South African doctor Jolanda Roos' research into these emerging tree diseases earned her a Scientific Achievement Award at the Congress.
It still takes a long-term planning strategy and lots of collaboration to make headway in saving these trees from total extinction in some cases.
We have a giant sequoia here.
During a tour of the University of Utah's green space, Forester Mike Coons talked to delegates about the threat of the state's ash trees from a beetle that's made its way to the U.S. from Asia.
And we assume if the borer makes it here, those will all die.
Insects and disease are just two of many threats to urban forests. Extremely hot summers or cold winters can damage and even kill off trees like the giant sequoia.
Certainly it doesn't look great.
Still, people here cling to their forests.
What a treasure. You guys have gorgeous trees and green space, and there's a lot of effort and energy that goes into having them here.
And I think just the fact that we have so much urban cover here in Salt Lake City, despite the fact that we only get 12 inches of rain a year here, really speaks to the fact that people want trees here, that people are connected to trees.
Helping the public make the connection between the health of our world and trees was key to the Congress.
It's about preservation, it's about conservation, it's about sustainable management. There is a role for use, and we have a lot of people here that are very interested in how do we utilize forests.
Delegates to the Congress agree that our forests won't provide for us if we don't embrace the need to save them.
Any opportunity like this to raise the awareness of tree health and other forestry related issues is incredibly valuable.
So really, you know, we want to leave no pathway unexplored in terms of how we help the public understand how very important trees and forests are in all aspects of our lives.
Keith McCord reporting. Congress leaders say one important theme that emerged from the international gathering was the changing nature of forests, including the loss of diversity and structure due to climate change. In response, they say management of forests around the world must also change in order to protect this valuable resource. Next, Noelle Pikus-Pace facing challenges head-on with Sochi in her rearview window. This is Deseret News National Edition on KSL.